So Sam Amick and Jovan Buha put out some information, and they wrote this, that something that I found rather interesting due to the fact that the Lakers discussed a 4-team trade with Utah, New York, and Charlotte ahead of the Donovan Mitchell to Cleveland trade, according to the league. One preliminary iteration of a 4-team trade would have had Bojan Bogdanovic and Terry Rozier going back to Los Angeles. And the deal that I have right up on the screen that you saw at the beginning of the video would be Rudy Gay, Terry Rozier, Bojan Bogdanovic, and Cam Reddish to the Lakers. Lakers would send 2 first-round picks to the Jazz. The Knicks would end, and Russell Westbrook. The Knicks would end up with Mike Conley, and the Hornets would end up with Kendrick Nunn and Evan Fournier. Evan Fournier gives them another wing player that they desperately need, and Kendrick Nunn gives them a backup point guard, which they also need. Now, Knicks get a defensive-minded point guard to pair up with Jalen Brunson to run a Brunson-Conley backcourt, which would allow them to probably play Brunson more at a shooting guard role, or even Conley at the shooting guard. But I think Conley would be better. I think it would truly be 2 co-guards, and then you have, in this case, you run at small forward. Probably now RJ Barrett would be the starting small forward with Julius Randle at power, and then you run Mitch Robb at center. Lakers get themselves Bojan for a shooter, get some depth with Rudy Gay and Cam Reddish, and then they get Terry Rozier to be with Pat Bev and Dennis Schroeder. Now, what they did right, this was before the Donovan Mitchell trade. Now, in recent conversations the Jazz and Lakers have had, they've targeted Bojan Bogdanovic, Jordan Clarkson, and Malik Beasley. And that deal would be Jordan Clarkson, Malik Beasley, and Bojan packaged together for Russell Westbrook and 2 first-round picks. While the Lakers continue to desire to land the Pacers guard Buddy Hield, which since last summer they've been wanting to, and he's been the focal point of trade conversations with Indiana. But Myles Turner is also in those deals, but a deal is not expected on that front. So Pacers aren't doing shit. Okay, so right now it's with the Jazz. And what they write right here, as the Lakers prepare for the 2022 to 2023 season, the organization is attempting to strike the tricky balance between contending in the short term and maintaining its options in the long term. The Lakers will only make a trade if they can calculate that it will improve the season's roster enough to warrant the possible downside of taking on long-term salary and or giving up their valuable picks at the end of the decade. As things stand, it seems unlikely they'll find a deal that reaches that lofty threshold. Their motivations could change as the season unfolds and they get a better sense of their roster's potential. In the meantime, they're betting on Ham to figure out the Westbrook fit, including whether he's most effective as a starter or off the bench, and improved help for James and Davis alongside a better younger cast of role players. It's a gamble no matter what direction the Lakers choose, with long-lasting ripple effects that will likely shape the rest of the decade long after LeBron James leaves. So this leaves me reading tea leaves and wondering, if you're a Lakers fan, what do you want to happen? What would you do and why? I think the whole situation is a bit dreary. I don't think this is something anybody was expecting. And it's definitely interesting because, is Russell really going to stay? Because I have no idea what they're doing at this point and why. So, for me, I just think the best thing for them to do, I personally have said this, if the Detroit Piston deal is real, if they only have to give up the 2027 pick and Russell Westbrook for 5 players, which would be Corey Joseph, Kemba Walker, Kelly Olynyk, Nerlens Noel, and Al Burks, I do that deal. The second deal I would do is Mike Conley, Bojan Bogdanovic, and Rudy Gay. I don't like the Jordan Clarkson, Bojan, and Malik Beasley deal because that deal, the problem with that deal, in my opinion, is yes, it's a lot of offense, but no defense. With Rudy Gay and Mike Conley are at least getting yourselves the opportunity to not be an absolute shit show on the defensive front, in my opinion. That's just my thoughts. I just think hey, let's not be absolute bums. But Bojan, I definitely think, is the guy that they should be getting after. While I know Mike Conley, it's a little bit longer money, but yeah, I see why. I mean, I think the Detroit Pistons deal, in my opinion, is the best one on the table and the one that they should take if they can. But the whole thing is like they said, it's trying to figure out the balance between mortgaging the short-term future to see if they can, this year, is it going to work out? I don't know, man. I really don't know. It's interesting as all hell, and that's where I want to hear your guys' thoughts. That if you were in this situation, what would you guys do and why? But that's basically it from me. I hope you guys do have a great day, because I know I will. Until next time, guys, peace out.